Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, March 2nd, 2026. This is Truth News. I am Walter Bass. Tonight, we are going to talk about our greatest ally. We're going to talk about the war in Iran, and we're going to talk about Jussie Smollett. Does anyone remember Jussie Smollett? The actor who paid people to beat him up and commit a fake hate crime against him so he could generate support and more fame and even more money. The reason we're going to talk about Jussie Smollett, who staged an attack against himself to generate support, money, and sympathy as a victim, is because that's what the United States of America's greatest ally has done for centuries. It's their modus operandi. Our greatest ally, the Oompa Loompa tiny hat people, commit crimes against themselves. They pay people like Hamas on October 7th, and they allow these atrocities to happen to play the victim, which gives them the much needed public support to commit crimes against humanity. Because after all, it's justified if something bad happens to them first, right? So, that being said, I want to talk about Iran and how we are fighting a war for these people. They're not people. This is a satanic occult. We are currently fighting a war on their behalf. And we're going to go through what we have done for our greatest ally. We, the people of the United States of America. All the tax dollars we have spent, all the blood Americans have shed, all the families destroyed, all for a little country halfway around the world that doesn't care about anything or anyone except themselves, their power, and they use the shield of religion to commit crimes against humanity. So right now, Donald Trump, the United States president, has set a record for most countries bombed in 8 countries in 1 year, bombed by the United States president Donald Trump, whose whole campaign was he was the man of peace, the president of peace, no new wars, no more foreign wars. That's what we heard for years. That's all we heard. And now look. So we have bombed Iran, Iraq, Nigeria, Palestine, Somalia, Syria, Venezuela, Yemen, and actually Iran once again. So 2 times we have bombed Iran. So if you want to count it, it'd be 9 bombings on 8 countries because they're different times. As of to date, the United States of America has spent $8 trillion fighting wars in the Middle East that have no impact on we, the people of the United States of America. None whatsoever. Matter of fact, Iran, last time I checked, they weren't bothering anybody. They weren't doing anything. Sure, Ayatollah was a horrible human being. Sure, he was cruel, whatever the case may be. Saddam Hussein as well, cruel. Okay, Vladimir Putin's cruel. We're not bombing Russia. Xi Jinping's cruel. Are we bombing China? How about Kim Jong-un? He's cruel. Are we bombing North Korea? No. No, because none of those countries have anything to do with our greatest ally. That's why. The only countries we bomb are on behalf of another country, supposedly our greatest ally, the Oompa Loompa Tiny Hat Gang. So, just to put things in perspective of how much money we have spent, and this is from 2003 to date, $8 trillion. That is enough to fund all 50 states in the United States of America for 3 years. See, we have state budgets, we have federal budgets. All of the states in the United States of America could have funding at their current rate for 3 years with the money we have spent fighting wars in the Middle East for a country that don't care, but that's blackmailed us, matter of fact. A country that has our whole government, our whole intelligence, our everything under blackmail. It's controlled, straight up. So $8 trillion is 25% of the United States GDP, the gross domestic product. That's a quarter of our entire GDP. All for wars, half the country away. 6,300 miles away, an 18-hour plane ride. 18 hours away. We are spending $8 trillion. And we haven't even got to the deaths yet. We will get there. So on top of the $8 trillion that we have spent on behalf of our greatest ally, we also give them $3.8 billion every year for 10 years from 2019 till 2028. Some genius signed a plan to give our greatest ally $3.8 billion a year for 10 years. Our taxpayer money. On top of $8 trillion we have already spent fighting wars. And we haven't even started spending on this war. I mean, we've already lost, I think, 5 American lives. 5 American soldiers have already been killed already. And we're at what, day 3? This is ridiculous. So, since 1946, just after World War II, which gave our greatest ally its own country, the U.S. has sent over $298 billion to Israel. $300 billion, and they are still getting $3.8 billion a year. Do you know how many American children could go to college on that? Do you know how many people could have health care with that money? Do you know what our roads could look like? Do you have any idea what kind of roads we could be driving on? Bridges? Did you know we could rebuild Detroit and make it pristine again? We could get rid of all the homeless veterans. We could probably solve all homelessness in the United States of America with just the $3.8 billion a year for 10 years we send to them. Think about that. We have homeless veterans sleeping in the streets of the United States of America, and we're sending a country 6,000 miles away $3.8 billion a year. We have children dying of fentanyl every single day. I mean, this is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So, over 7,000 U.S. service members have died in the Middle East since 9/11. 7,000 American lives have died in the Middle East, fighting not for the United States of America, not to take anything away from our military. I love our military. I feel bad for our military. They sign up thinking they're going to defend America and American people. And they sign up and they get shipped half the world away to defend our greatest ally, not us. This has nothing to do with us. The Ayatollah has nothing to do with us. Saddam Hussein had nothing to do with us. All lies. Saddam Hussein, if you remember, it was WMDs, weapons of mass destruction. There was never any weapons of mass destruction found. It was a regime change because our greatest ally wants to rule the Middle East. And after the Middle East, they want to rule the world. That's their goal. They own America. The Oompa Loompa Tiny Hat Gang owns Hollywood, owns our media, owns our president, owns our Congress. They're pillaging our children, raping our children, and then going home, not even being prosecuted. Come to America, rape some kids, fly back to you know where. It's just, I can't believe this is literally happening. And not only is it happening, I can't believe people like Lindsey Graham and Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi all get up in front of these cameras and swear they are fighting for the American people. They care about truth and justice in the United States of America. No, you don't. No, you don't. You care about your shekels, whatever they are. What's the name of their currency over there? I think it was shekels. Let me double check that. Shekel. Shekel. That's yeah. That's what Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, they care about their shekels. They don't care about the United States. So, since 9/11, now this is where it gets staggering. Pay attention. Since 9/11, total deaths of military members, allies, and civilians total nearly 1 million people. 1 million people have died for a nation the size of New Jersey. 1 million. And that's not counting their own people. Because make no mistake, they will murder their own people and play the victim so they can have more power, more control, and get more money. It's kind of like somebody who burns their own house down to collect the insurance. You know what I mean? You ever seen those people? I had a guy in high school, wouldn't call him a friend, I knew of him, in high school. And his dad owned a car dealership and would get him cars. He would get a car, and I'm talking like Corvettes, Camaros. He would get them, drive them for a month or two, have full coverage insurance on them, and he would pay somebody to go set fire on them and burn them down and collect the insurance. And he did it like 3 or 4 cars. I think he did get caught for that, for insurance fraud. But there are people who do stuff like that, intentionally destroy their own property to play the victim and collect money. I mean, it's disgusting. So, I'm seeing posts. I don't have social media, not allowed to, but I do follow podcasters on YouTube, and I've noticed people are saying, send Barron, send Don Jr., send Eric Trump over there. Send your kids to the Middle East to fight. Since you want this war, and it's all about you, send your family to fight. Send Kai Trump. Isn't she 18 years old? Can't she serve? Put Kai Trump in boot camp right now. In 90 days, ship her to the Middle East. Women are serving these days. What's wrong with Kai Trump serving? Put Kai Trump in. Put Barron in. You want this war? You don't mind if people die? It's war. Some people are going to die. It's going to happen. Send your children. How about that? How about that? So these are the politicians' children who have served in the military since 2000. I can only find actually 4. 4 of them. One of them is Teddy Roosevelt Jr. We know how long ago that was. So 4 politicians' children. Beau Biden, who served from 2003 to 2015. Alan Wilson, which I didn't even know who that was. He's the son of Joe Wilson, who's the Attorney General for South Carolina. His son served, and they serve in the National Guard. They serve in like I can't think of it. When they do 1 weekend a month, they're doing the 1 weekend a month deal. Brooks Johnson, who is Tim Johnson's son, and he served in the early 2000s. And John Musgrave, Marilyn Musgrave's son. You've never heard of these people because they're, small timers. So, there are more wars going on today than during World War II. I want you to think about that. There's Russia, Ukraine, there's Iran, and I don't know how many people they're bombing. Qatar, Kuwait, Bagram, Israel. They're bombing everyone around them. And then you got Gaza, Palestine. You've got, I believe it's Pakistan and Afghanistan fighting. Then we got Venezuela, who we just captured Maduro, and I don't know what we're doing over there. We were bombing fishing boats. We're talking about invading Greenland. So, this is, and for what? For what? For what? I don't understand all this. I don't understand how these people that we, the people, supposedly elect, are sworn to serve us, and are committed to an enemy of the states. Make no mistake, our greatest ally is our greatest enemy, you know? So let me tell you about our greatest ally. They just did a deal with India for weapons and money. So our greatest ally has used us up. We're done. They've depleted all of our money. They've depleted all of our military resources. We have fought all the wars we could for them. And now they're moving on. They're like locusts. They have devoured everything. There's nothing left for them. And now they're going to move on. They're moving on to India to do deals with India. Now let me tell you what's going to happen right now. Because this is what our greatest ally is famous for. They are famous for this. They like to bomb countries and blame it on other people. That's their modus operandi. They'll even do it to themselves. They'll stage attacks on themselves and blame it on someone else. So here's what's going to happen. The United States of America is going to be bombed. We are going to have attacks on U.S. soil. It's going to happen. And our greatest ally is going to blame Iran. Make no mistake, it's coming. I give it 6 months or less. Probably 90 days or less, realistically. Because here's the deal. When the Einstein files came out, their hold of blackmail was released, because blackmail is only good if nobody knows about it. Once everyone knows about it, it's worthless. The secret's out. So what does it matter? Everyone already knows. What do you mean? Do what you say or you're going to tell people. What are you going to tell them? What they already know? So the blackmail operation is pretty much over. That's a done deal. So they've lost that stranglehold. Everyone knows about AIPAC. Everyone knows about the Adelsons, Larry Ellison. Everyone knows Ben Shapiro and Mark Levine are Nazis. That's what they are. They are Nazis using Jewish faith as a cover to be a Nazi. How sick and twisted is that? Could you imagine? Can you imagine? That's like me putting on blackface and paying someone to beat me up and then saying it was a hate crime because I'm black. Could you imagine what people would say to me? They'd be like, what? You put on blackface and paid somebody to beat you up and claimed you were a victim of a hate crime? That is what our greatest ally is doing, using the Jewish faith. That's exactly what they are doing. Hiding behind that Jewish faith when they're really just Nazis. That's the truth of the matter. So, the question is, what are we going to do? And to be honest with you, we're not going to vote our way out of this. I keep saying that. Marjorie Taylor Greene said it. These people are not going to relinquish power. They are not going to voluntarily step down. Matter of fact, if we the people, were to vote them out, they would probably refuse to leave. And I don't think Donald Trump's going to leave that office unless it's in a body bag. I think he's going to have to die to leave the presidency of the United States. See, some people get addicted to power, just like a drug, just like sex, just like money. People can become addicted to anything. You can become addicted to shoes and shopping. You can do anything with an addiction. These people are addicted to power. And they're not going to just stop. So, we do have a No Kings protest coming up March 28th. I don't know what good that's going to do. I really don't. We've done this. This will be the third one. So I don't know what good that's going to do. We keep shouting to the mountaintops that we don't want these people in our country. We don't want these people in our government. We want all of their money. We want all of their pedophilia. We want all of their crimes against humanity and all of their corruption out of America. We want to clean America up, and we want to make America for Americans again. And by Americans, I mean people who conform to these simple laws and rules. People who care about this book. Because this is the law of the land. Make no mistake, this is. No intelligence agency, no military agency. None of these people are law. They are just people. And to be honest with you, they are treasonous traitors to the United States of America. And we the people. So, I was thinking about this and the money, and how much money these churches raise, the Joel Osteens, the T.D. Snakes, the Kenneth Copelands, on top of the money we send to foreign wars on behalf of our greatest ally, which is not our ally, it's our greatest enemy. On top of the money that these politicians steal from us, Nancy Pelosi's worth $250 million. Darrell Issa is worth $400 million. That's two California politicians, worth over $500 million between the two of them. And we're done. We are done. They have pillaged, raped, and destroyed the United States of America from the inside out, because they had no self-control and no discipline and no intelligence, none whatsoever. Because the ignorant thing is, you got to live here too. These people, you got to live in this country too. So what if you live in a big house? Congratulations, you now live in a big prison. It's no longer a house, it's a prison. You're not safe. You're not safe to go anywhere in public. You're not safe to go anywhere. Actually, some of these people can't go anywhere in the world without being threatened, bullied, protested, harassed, mocked, ridiculed, heckled. Some of these people cannot be seen in the public eye anywhere because of what they have done. So, I hope and I pray literally every day that God will help us, because I don't think we can do this unless we come together as one. And with all this technology, all this social media, it's hard to get people to agree on anything. It really is, and especially for longer than 10 seconds. They might agree with you, but 10 seconds later, they're like, so anyway, what do you want to eat? So anyway, what are you going to do tomorrow? What are you going to do this weekend? 10-second time attention spans. And it's just, I love this country. I do. And I've always believed that America was truly the greatest country on planet Earth. Always, my whole life. I didn't serve in the military. I took the ASVAB. I tried to get in. They said I had too many tattoos, and I had felonies on my background, so they wouldn't let me in when I was, 20 years old? My dad served. My granddad served. I love movies like Pearl Harbor, Saving Private Ryan, We Were Soldiers with Mel Gibson. We Were Soldiers. I love that movie. I mean, that is a gut-wrenching movie to watch. And I admire people like Nate at Valhalla. Some of our service members who did the honorable thing and the right thing, even though it was for the wrong reasons. And, when you look at everything transpiring around the world, how can you not believe in God and Satan or good and evil? How could you not? How could you not? And who wants to live in a world like this? Who wants to live in a world filled with hate and just sex and greed and lust? Like, it's disgusting. It's truly just absolutely disgusting. The hate, the greed. I mean, how much is enough for these people? Elon Musk is about to be a trillionaire. What do you need $1 trillion for? How many cars can you have? You have one ass. How many cars can you drive at once? How many homes can you live in at one time? I don't get it. How many islands can you have? You're one person. So, I want to remind everyone we're getting near the end. I try to keep these at 30 minutes like always. I want to pull up the state judge and the man who kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and murdered my son. And I haven't seen or heard from my son since 2021. Can't even get his remains back. Can't even get my child's remains back from the United States government, out of revenge and retaliation for reporting child sex trafficking. And it's just, it's absolutely disgusting. It really is. I gotta find the picture. I send text to Chad Bianco every day, and he's the Sinaloa sheriff of Riverside County. I call around this country every day. Nothing. So this man right here, State Judge Kelly Hansen, 16 years worth of children's victims. He has kidnapped, raped, tortured, murdered, and sold. And my son was 7 years old when State Judge Kelly Hansen kidnapped him, violently sexually assaulted him, and he's presumed dead, and the United States government thinks it's funny. They think it's funny to rape and murder children. And before we close, let me play this video for you, because this is on, I don't know where this was. It's a TikTok. It says, I don't have TikTok, but it came across my YouTube. And I wanted to play this for everybody because it was just absolutely repulsive.
And what's happened at the end of the party?
My dad kills babies and he eats the meat.
Okay, well, let's just talk about the party though,
Yeah.
okay? So, the party, what was the party like?
I don't like the party.
Why not?
They touch me,
Who?
kick me, my front privates, they hurt me. So when they stick a big plaster in my bottom, and when it bleeds, if I cry, do you know those spaghetti spoons? Those metal ones. If I cry, he hits me on the head with it.
Okay.
But if I cry more, he hits me again. But if I cry more, the nurse teacher, the smart teacher, injects me, and I sleep on an injection on my neck, and then I fell asleep. So
And what's happened at the end of the party?
That's what the leaders of the United States of America do to children, ladies and gentlemen. This is 2026 in the United States of America. And our leaders are a satanic cabal of pedophiles. And we are at war right now because a bunch of pedophiles are being exposed for raping children. And they want to do anything to distract from that, to take away from that, and to get revenge for that. It's kind of like that attitude, well, if I can't have it, no one can, so I'm going to tear it all down. I'm going to break it. My ex was like that. I've dated people like that. I've had friends like that. I remember playing with kids like that couldn't share their toys. They would rather break their toys than to let someone else play with them. You know what I'm talking about. The United States government would rather destroy the United States of America than just to go away. Just go away. No, they can't do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. This is day 1365 of my son being a victim of child sex trafficking, which is the entire premise and purpose of these videos, this research, just spreading the truth as much as I can. So please like, share, and subscribe to these videos. Everyone have a good evening. We will see you tomorrow.